Hi everyone, this is Ms. Brenner. I wanted to make this quick video to go over the short story speech project directions. You can find all the materials in Schoology, as you can see on the screen currently. I'm going to go over the directions and then I'll come back to this screen to talk about the assignments and the due dates. So let's start off with the directions. This is a creative speech. It's inspired by the short story unit that we read together in science fiction. So as per usual, I'm asking for this to be in MLA format with a heading, page number in the header, and a title. MLA format Times New Roman 12-point font and double-spaced. Citation page containing the short story citation, which I do provide in these directions, along with a minimum of 2 support resources. We'll talk about what those might look like. And this is a 500-word minimum for this project. As far as the different sections of your speech, I am asking for an introductory paragraph. It should address the audience for the speech, establish your speaker's role, so their knowledge, experience, and connection to the topic, and end with a thesis statement. And I give approximate word counts for each of the sections. Your thesis statement will need to be addressing the topic and then have 3 prongs within your thesis statement to outline your 3 body paragraphs. You will also need a background paragraph. This should give us some information about why the meeting was called for this speech and identify the argument for the opposing side. So it should give some kind of background information, including summary information from the story that you are inspired by, and we'll look at the different story options in a second, and then create an argument and explain what the opposing side feels about it. Should be about 100 words. Your first body paragraph needs to transition. It needs to include examples of ethos, pathos, and logos, a minimum of 2, and they need to be highlighted according to this small chart here. You will also need to have support information from your inspiration story along with some kind of connection or comparison to either real life or other literary pieces of work within the genre. And you would italicize that comparison. And then conclude your paragraph. You'll do the same for the second body paragraph. Obviously, it would be about the second prong in your thesis statement. And a third body paragraph with a similar outline, just about the third prong in your thesis statement. Usually the way that you would outline a thesis statement is that your first prong is your medium strength, your second prong is your weakest strength, and your third prong is your strongest strength. And the reason you do that is because you want to sandwich the information so that way you are ending on your strongest portion of your argument. And then lastly, we would have a conclusive paragraph, and I give a little bit of information as to what I'm looking for in your conclusion. I also went ahead and typed up an example. I used Midsummer Night's Dream for my inspiration, which I know is not one of your options, but I did that just to give you a rough idea as to what I'm looking for in your writing. So here's my introductory paragraph along with my thesis statement. I then created a body paragraph that outlines some of the background for Midsummer Night's Dream and what the argument would be. And then I created a first body paragraph with my highlighting for ethos, pathos, and logos, along with my italicizing for a comparison to Romeo and Juliet. As far as our topics, these are all of our short stories for science fiction from our unit. You can do an approach for AI technology, UFOs and aliens, teleportation, time travel, or human experimentation. You would pick a story from one of these sections as your inspiration and then create a speech character that is going to address an audience, outlining, like maybe for example, if you wanted to do War of the Worlds, I would create a speech character that is addressing a government board saying that we have these aliens invading Earth currently, and this is what I recommend we do. I know other people say that we should try and befriend them, but based off of the evidence that we have collected so far, this is what I think we should do to protect humanity to the best of our ability. and then start outlining our body paragraphs. If you have questions about these different content areas, I would be happy to give you suggestions and work with you. This is a creative assignment, and we are using our different elements that we have talked about in our unit, such as illusions. We are using ethos, pathos, and logos as we move into dry. We are using characterization to build up our speech character. As far as the citations, I've already provided them in this chart here, and a rubric as to how I'm going to grade this project. The project is worth 75 points. So like I said before, I'm going to go back over to our Schoology page. Here are the directions linked that I just went over. Here's a layout that looks like this to help you get just a baseline as to how you want to make your speech function. Here, this is required. It must be turned in by Monday, November 20th at 8 a.m. The rough draft is optional. I will be giving feedback on the 21st. It is worth 5 bonus points if you want to turn in your rough draft for my feedback. And then here are our project due dates. So the layout is due on the 20th at 8 a.m. The rough draft is optional. It's also due on the 20th at 8 a.m. Your final copy is due on the 27th at 8 a.m. Late projects are graded with a 10% penalty per day, and the last day you can turn in the project for any form of credit is December 1st. After that date, it will become a permanent 0. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. And if you need more support, once again, send me an email. I'm happy to help you. Have a great day.